Tell me about yourself and your role at DAGSI.
My name is Christopher Muratore. I'm a professor in the Department of Chemical and Materials Engineering at the University of Dayton. I'm actually the Ohio Research Scholars Endowed Chair professor there. And I've had the opportunity to work in many directorates at the Air Force Research Lab through the DAGSI program. So I have students in the Sensors Directorate, the Materials and Manufacturing Directorate, and also the Human Performance Wing. And if I had to say what working through DAGSI, the Air Force Research Lab, has done for my career, I'd say that we have really big goals for our research projects. And the connection with the Air Force Research Laboratory has been able to help us get closer to those goals, much closer than we would have without the resources and personnel that we've been able to connect with through our combined efforts together.
How has DAGSI helped you build your professional network?
I've been able to work with students sponsored by DAGSI for the last 5 years. And I've had several PhD students and master students. Those students have gone on to excellent careers. Some of them have continued the research that they started as a DAGSI student. And I've been really happy to continue my interactions with them and collaborations with them as well.
How has working with DAGSI helped your research?
Like I said before, working with DAGSI, I would say that there are a few ways that working with DAGSI has really helped move our research forward. One of the ways is access to amazing equipment at the Air Force Research Laboratory that we couldn't access at the university. And this has enabled us to, again, understand things about our approach to solving these big problems that would be impossible to know otherwise. I think that connecting with people at the Air Force Research Laboratory has been remarkable too. A lot of our efforts are experimental efforts, but we've been able to just encounter simulation and modeling folks who have really helped us to develop a deep understanding. And that just feeds into this continued growth of our experimental efforts.
How has working with DAGSI helped your career?
Well, that's a great question. So again, this connection with the folks at the Air Force Research Lab is a really important part of my career personally. It's very difficult to kind of start out with so little as a new professor. And again, being able to generate some preliminary results using the equipment and working with the folks at the Air Force Research Laboratory gave us a lot of preliminary results that enabled us to write really strong proposals and receive funding, large amounts of funding from multiple sources and agencies. And so I think that it would be really hard for our research to be where it is today and for my career to be where it is today without the help of DAGSI. It's been really instrumental in lots of ways.
How is your work with DAGSI beneficial to Ohio?
You know, that's a really great question. I'll give you one example. So most of our projects have been involved with development of fundamentals that will enable us to make devices, electronic devices that will detect disease, that will detect food spoilage, that will detect the kind of condition of a human at any given time. Applications for this would be with artificial intelligence, where you can digitize human emotions so that a computer can see how you feel without using your voice inflection or the words that you say. It's very subtle, very difficult to bridge that human-machine gap. By chance, I met the vice president of research at a large medical device company here in Ohio, and we just started talking about what we did. And within a month, I was there at his building, giving a presentation to kind of the executives in charge of making decisions of who to work with and who to fund. And it was all research that was sponsored by DAGSI was the thing I was talking about there. And so it turns out this company owns some smaller companies in Ohio. And they would come out periodically. They came and visited my facility. And so we're working together to develop these devices that will be made and tested here in Ohio, even though the company is based in San Diego. So that's just one example. I think that there are a number of students that I've had that have stayed at the Air Force Research Laboratory. And I think that's excellent. They become valuable contributors, not only like economically, but also in the community. There's a real sense of community at the Air Force Research Lab. These people volunteer as science fair judges. They volunteer in schools. They volunteer for lots of different programs to help kids be interested in science and technology. And who knows how many lives those people might be able to change locally. So I think that's pretty exciting too.
Why should more faculty and universities work with DAGSI?
Well, again, from my personal experience, developing this connection with the Air Force Research Laboratory has been really, really valuable. Again, there are few universities that have the advanced equipment that's available there. And I think one thing that maybe we don't talk about enough is these world-renowned experts that reside at the Air Force Base, and they love to work with students. It's a great experience for the students. I think that it's a great way to start, or at least to enrich your beginning as a new faculty member at any institution.